on the inside. She got the scoop on the ones to watch, on the ones that's hot. No one can do it quite like Caroline.
Hey y'all, it's Caroline Hobby and welcome to my show, Get Real from the Music City, capital of the world. In each episode, I get the real story from the most inspiring, interesting people in Nashville, Tennessee. I have done everything in the music entertainment industry. I was in the trio Stealing Angels with 2 top 50 country charting songs, a finalist and runner-up on season 22 and season 24 of The Amazing Race. You can currently catch me on CMT's hit show, I Love Kelly Pickler. I am an entertainment news correspondent and host for the TV show Nashville Insider, and my podcast, Get Real with Caroline Hobby, was featured on iTunes' New and Noteworthy and charted on iTunes' Top 200 podcast. I'm also married to the smoking hot front man, Michael Hobby, of the #1 chart-topping band, 1,000 Horses. So buckle up and get ready to get real with me, Caroline Hobby. Welcome to my show. Well, hello, Russell Dickerson.
Well, hello. How are
going?
you?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah?
I'm happy to have you here because I've caught you in a brief little moment of time for you being home because you're on a whirlwind right now.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts, but it's all good. Living the dream. You get what you ask for, I guess.
So what did you ask for?
To play arenas and stadiums and have hits and, do the country music life.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
So you're a Nashville native.
I am.
You're one of the few,
Mm-hmm.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
You grew up in the country music capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Did you always know that you wanted to do country music and be a country music star?
No, not
You didn't?
really. Well, there was so I was born in West Tennessee
Okay.
and then moved to Nashville when I was 10.
Okay.
So, but still, when you're 10, you don't really know what you want to do with your life. And so, in the school systems here, it's not like everybody listens to country.
Okay.
Because I grew up in Franklin, and so, it's Nashville's kind of a big city vibe going on.
Totally.
And so, there was kids listening to everything, rap, rock, Nirvana, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
All that, yeah. Eminem.
Oh, yeah. 8 Second.
Yeah.
Did that come up when you were growing up?
8 Second?
8 Seconds?
Mm-mm.
8 Mile?
8 Mile?
Oh, God.
Lil Wayne.
I combined the cowboy movie.
No, you
and
combined the Jake Owen song.
Oh, yeah. And
8
that
Second
one,
Ride?
the
Oh,
one
yeah.
where the guy died in the bull riding movie. Okay, anyway.
I'll have
8
to
Mile.
go check that one out. Is it on
Right.
Netflix?
Yeah, but I have the name wrong.
Yeah, 8 Mile. But yeah, there were so many different influences around, and so
What did you gravitate towards? What were you loving when you were growing up?
Pretty much, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blink-182, Nirvana, even all the way to the super poppy, Britney Spears, we would just I didn't care. I just this music's cool, and I wanted to listen to it. But then around when I started being able to drive was when I would put that country CD in, and it felt so good while you're driving and all that. And so all of that just kind of morphed into this sound that I just kind of...
How would you describe your sound?
Super high energy and upbeat.
But that's just you. That's just you in general.
Right, yeah.
And you're
I'm
the
not...
happiest person to live on this earth. I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
You always are. You and your wife both are so happy. Y'all radiate happiness.
Thanks. That's very sweet. You too. Look at that smile. Come on. But yeah, so just upbeat and energetic.
Is it important to you to be upbeat and happy? Is that a choice you make?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, you just gotta know that that is who you are, and even regardless of your surrounding situations, I'm okay, I have to get up at 4:30 a.m. for this flight, but I still don't let that ruin your day. Funny story.
Okay.
So checking into the airport, on my license, my picture is literally and so
the
whenever,
happiest picture in the world.
Yeah.
Do you have thumbs up in the picture?
No.
Oh.
No, but you want to get a close-up of it?
Yes, definitely.
Can you blur out my number?
Yeah. We can just put our finger over it. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Can you get a close-up of that?
Oh my gosh.
So, my license holds me accountable, you know, when I'm checking into the airport desk.
I'm happy.
And I'm like, ugh, you know.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you don't look like this in your picture. And I'm like, okay, you're right. All right.
So were your parents super happy growing up? What was your upbringing like? Do you have siblings? What was the environment of your childhood?
My dad is a music minister.
Okay,
and
so you grew up in the church.
Yeah, so that we moved here for, my dad's still at the same church today. He's been there 20 years. And so, yeah, we spent a lot of time, and that's like, when I think about my childhood, I think about growing up like literally in the church.
And what was that like? Did you enjoy that?
Oh yeah, it was, because like I was surrounded by, you know, obviously great people, but like other kids who were in the same like scenario as me. Their parents worked at the church, and you know, Dad was in choir rehearsal till 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night, and so like
you just hung out.
We just hung out with like all of those kids and like played hide and seek.
So you're kind of like in a family commune in a way.
I guess.
Church
But not in a weird way.
Not in a weird way. Like like you just have kids all around you all the time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so fun.
Yeah, it was cool. And then my little sister, she's 7.5 years younger than me, and she's amazing. Yeah.
So when did you start to really full force pursue your dream of country music, to the point where you're like, I'm not just gonna sing in church, I'm not just gonna sing for fun, I'm actually going to go for this? And how did you start making your way into that career?
Let's see. Honestly, there was, it was like 2007 really, because I had, like after high school, senior year of high school, we like started this band.
Okay.
And like
What were
heavy
you called?
rock. Oh, you ready for it?
I'm bracing myself.
Buried Under Broken Glass.
Ooh, oh.
So angsty.
Oh man, you're feeling it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I was feeling,
Buried under broken glass.
Oh yeah. So
what were
like,
you trying to, what was the thought when you came up with that? What were you wanting people to think?
It was just like that we were hardcore.
And you're
we
feeling
weren't playing
it.
around. Yeah.
You're getting to the heart of
Yeah.
the real stuff.
Yeah. We were just dealing with our teenage angst.
Music's
you know?
a good way to deal with that.
Yeah. And so we just played loud, annoying now music, but that we thought
tell
was
me-
so cool.
Did you make a CD?
Yeah. I know. I gotta find it. I gotta find that throwback.
Are you kind of screaming in it? Is it one of those
I
kinds?
wasn't the vocalist.
You
Actually.
weren't the
No.
vocalist.
Well, I would like sing every once in a while, but I played guitar.
Okay, so you didn't
Yeah.
even start off as the vocalist. Okay, then
Well, not
you're-
in that band.
but you knew
I'd
all
s-
along you secretly
Yeah,
wanted to be the
totally.
vocalist.
But yeah, like in high school, I was in marching band
What'd you play?
and a snare drum.
Nice.
So I did that, and then we started this heavy rock band. And then after that, like around high school too, I started like leading worship for my youth group.
So does Buried Under Broken Glass and worship leading, do they match? Is it the same kind of message? Or is it two different messages?
Yeah, it was kind of more two different messages. Not messages, two different sounds.
Okay.
Like, yeah, because I wasn't really involved in writing any of the lyrics for Buried Under Broken Glass. Buried Under Broken, wow.
I love it. I think that is such an
It's
epic
me,
name.
yeah, it's my story.
Well, and you're going to go
Yeah.
big, you know?
Right.
You're not going to half-ass this.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
We're not going to get buried under rose petals.
Oh, boring.
That's not hardcore. But yeah, leading worship, and that's where I learned to play guitar.
Okay.
And then like being up in front of people and playing and singing. And then we did the band thing, and that was kind of like, I got the feel for like a show and like people coming out to listen to this music, and I'm like, these people came to hear our songs. Yes. And so that, I kind of got hooked on that, and then I was dating this girl in college who was raised on like the oldest, most traditional country music, and like that's what she did. And so I kind of like dove into that too, and was like, you know, listen to whatever she was listening to, and it was like old stuff, like, I mean, Jim Reeves and like George Jones and like so many of these old great traditional songs, and I just I got hooked on that for a while. And a lot of it because like the lower voices kind of I could relate with that, and you know, some Merle Haggard stuff, and but yeah, just like that's kind of what got me hooked on country music. And so then, you know, that took me like super far in the traditional realm of country, and so I started writing songs in that zone.
Okay.
And so it started out more traditional, and then I kind of came back to the center about like probably two or 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, like that's cool, but I'm like trying to do something over here. I'm not
Okay.
I'm trying to do something different, but like right here is who I am.
Is that when you
And-
birthed out all of these songs that
Yeah.
are now your EP?
Yeah. And so that's when I started writing with Casey Brown and Parker Welling. The second song we wrote together ever was Yours.
And that's a really important, special song for you because it's
Right.
very personal.
Yeah, yeah. And so I just kind of got back to the center of, it was like when I signed my first pub deal, I was in this like, before that I was kind of like Josh Turner vibe and like sing real low and
Okay.
real country and all that
Take
stuff.
it way down low.
Yeah, yeah. And then I kind of went more to like, all right, well, I'm playing guitar too, so like kind of Keith Urban vibe, and like I was trying to write the next Keith Urban song for myself, and it just like wasn't happening. Nothing was like catching. And then it's when I got with two of my best friends,
Who knew you?
knew me, they knew they knew me and Kaylee's relationship since before we were together. They knew Kaylee before I did.
Did you meet your wife in college? Is that where y'all met?
We met at Belmont.
Okay, y'all have like this epic love story. Y'all are one of the country music couples that I feel like is just a really great example of true love. And you are happy to like display her in your
Oh, yeah.
songs, and you're not ashamed. Like back in the day, I feel like people tried to hide
Yeah.
their relationships.
Totally.
But that is not your vibe at all, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you met your wife and how she has influenced your music so much.
We were dating other people, and so there wasn't like this, like love at first sight kind of
Y'all were
moment.
both dating other people.
Yeah.
When y'all met. Okay, so you kind of met in the friend zone.
Met in the friend zone. We were in the same kind of friend group.
In school.
And then we actually had the same voice teacher.
So she sings also.
Yeah.
Okay.
She
Will you
does-
ever
well,
duet
she
with her?
was- I mean, I would, but I feel like she's like never really come around. I feel like she's starting to come around to the singing thing, but not, I mean, I don't think she's not trying to pursue it. That's why she started doing photography.
Okay.
But yeah, we had the same voice teacher and just kind of met and hang out and ended up breaking up with those people. And
When you met her, were you kind of like, she's cute?
yeah, oh yeah, of course. And then, but like, it wasn't this like moment. We just kind of grew as like friends first in the same group, and then just kind of naturally gravitated towards each other. And we're like, hey, we kind of like hanging out with each other. And then, you know, had our first kiss, and it was like,
How was that?
it was good. It was honestly
How'd you have that all happen?
it was at like a Belmont graduation party, and like, not in like a, can you say douchey on here?
Yeah.
Okay, not in like a douchey way, but like, I had never really like gone in for that super vulnerable
Because
first
that's nerve-wracking.
kiss before. Yeah.
Because what if you get rejected? Because you have
Right.
been friends now for a while.
Yeah.
You're cool in the friend zone, so going
Yeah.
in for the kiss
Well,
is
even like,
kinda,
yeah, even like yeah, exactly.
Like, what if all
But
of a
like,
sudden it doesn't work out?
yeah. Or she's like, what are you doing?
We
We're
were
friends.
You ruined everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a vulnerable spot
and
for a
so
dude.
it was like my first like 100% to zero, you know.
Was your
me-
heart racing?
Yeah.
How'd you get the nerve to do it?
Well, like, I told her, I was like, you know, it's usually like a meet in the middle kind of thing, and she's like, not here. She's like, you're gonna have to kiss me.
Well, at least
And-
you know you're talking about it.
Right.
So she's
yeah,
open to it.
Yeah, yeah. And so, but yeah, it was just like, dang. Like, I'll never forget that. And so we dated for like two and a half years, and got married in 2013, May 5th,
Nice.
4 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so, yeah, she's really, I mean, a huge part of this whole thing, because we had nothing going on for like the first 2 years of our marriage. Like we made, literally our first year of marriage, I think we made $12,000.
So how do you stay afloat?
She would do like photography jobs and like living off some wedding money we had.
Isn't it kind of awesome to start off like that?
Oh yeah.
If you can make it through those really hungry years where neither one has anything to show for themselves yet,
Right.
that's true love.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, like, we had nowhere to be, nothing to do. Like, I wasn't I wasn't really playing shows.
But you're like, I'm available.
Yeah. I'm like, call me, I'm ready to play some shows.
So how did you move past that, not having anywhere to be, anything to do? That cracks me up that you said it like that.
No, I mean, it's true.
like totally ready.
No one was really like trying to write songs with me. I had nothing going on, for real.
So how did you break out of that place?
I just, honestly, I started kind of just making my own tracks and kind of producing my own stuff.
Don't you think it always, when you self-start, it
Yeah.
always creates a ripple effect?
Yeah.
So you're finally like, okay, listen, I'm not going to wait for Jeffrey Steele to call me. I'm just going to go ahead and start making my own stuff.
Which, funny story,
Okay.
because that was my next deal.
Was it with Jeffrey Steele?
Well, it was in a roundabout way.
Anyone listening, Jeffrey Steele is one of the biggest songwriters in Nashville.
Of all time.
Of all
Love
time.
you, bro.
Amazing.
It wasn't directly with him, but he was pretty involved, and so, but yeah, so those first years,
What are you thinking in those years?
I'm like, when is it gonna happen? Like, when am I
Are you
gonna?
stressing out? Because you got a new wife now. Are you
Kinda,
worried
yeah,
or are you
yeah.
peaceful about it?
Like, I go back and forth. Like, honestly, there were times when I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm a country artist, but like, I'm not writing songs right now. I'm not playing shows. I'm not, like, what am I doing? And like, looking back, it was like the most foundational time of our marriage to like just really be with each other, not have to be here, be there like we are now, like
Like
going
you really,
all over the
you
place.
really built a strong foundation.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And so it wasn't built around like me already being successful and then she comes in and like, you know, enters into this lifestyle immediately.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, we're in this together, like we're broke together. And now we're, you know, getting our first little taste of success together. And
That's awesome.
yeah, and it's not like she was just like there. She's like helping me. She shot the music video for Yours.
Which, Yours music video, first off, the whole song is about her, right?
Yeah,
Which is amazing.
yeah.
I love it. And then I feel like there's this really subtle depth to it because you're walking down this road and you're just sort of like proclaiming your heart to the wild open.
Yeah.
Kind of describing who you are. And then at one point it's raining and it's all about finding love. It also has a God connection. Explain to me Yours and why this is such an important song to you.
It was kind of really the first true love song that I wrote, like from the bottom of who I am about the woman I love, and and it was really easy to do because it was with some of my best friends who know her
So you
and
could be
know
vulnerable.
me. Yeah.
But it wasn't even vulnerable. You could just be yourself.
Be real, and then if like not writing Yours, but like if there's other times like, yeah, that's not really you, bro, and I'm like, yeah,
Thanks.
you're right.
Thank you for knowing
Yeah,
me.
yeah, and so, but yeah, writing Yours, it was just this kind of like, I had the idea, just the title, very simple, Yours, and I was like, I was this before you, I was this before you, but now I'm yours, and it's like,
So what were
the
you before?
simplest little twist, like talking about a boat stuck in a bottle, like it just, I don't know, I was selfish and like, as far as relationships go, yeah, just selfish and like that whole first kiss thing, like I don't know, make the first move, like I never make the first move, and she was like, well, you're gonna have to with me. I'm like, okay.
Set the tone.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just like, really, she makes me better than I was before.
You say that. You make me my best self. I left behind my worst self. I don't know how you say it
Yeah,
exactly in words.
it's like
me better
the
than-
best me has his arms around you.
The worst me.
Yeah, it's
Is-
long gone memory.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's just a really vulnerable, like love song, admitting that I wasn't the best, in our relationship before, but now you make me better than I was before.
I feel like to have someone like you, a cute guy breaking out in country music, can't help it. Born this way, like Lady Gaga says, born this way. So, but to actually value marriage, and I feel like that's something happening in country music right now, which
you guys too, man.
It's great.
It's awesome to have a community of happily married people.
Well, and I just think it's so much more fun. Why would you be married if you don't enjoy being with your spouse? And so it's cool to see people working it into their careers too.
Yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
it's amazing.
Yeah, and like now we're going out to shows and stuff, and I'm like, where's Kaylee? I'm like, she's not here.
And even like with Florida Georgia Line and Thomas Rhett and Lauren and all their wives, the wives are almost just as wildly popular as the husbands, which is crazy. Which also, you have toured with them, all of those people. Thomas Rhett, Florida Georgia Line, Kanan Smith, but you're kind of in this crew.
Yeah.
Did y'all come up together? How did you get in this crew?
Yeah. Oh, this is a fun story.
Because it's a great crew to be a part of.
Yeah. Well, so it started out, I was playing at 12th and Porter down here. And it was like one of my first shows ever. And this girl came up and she was like, hey, a couple buddies of mine want to talk to you and like write with you and meet you. And I'm like, okay, whatever, sure, I'm here to write songs. I'm in Nashville. And so it was Brian and Tyler. And
before they were Florida Georgia Line?
Yeah, like they were just trying to be songwriters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I was, like, I knew I wanted to be an artist, so I was already playing shows and, 10 people were there, but.
Hey, you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. And so they were like, hey man, we should write some songs together, come over to the house. And I was like, yeah, sure. And so we kind of wrote a ton of songs together, awesome songs. And I just I wanted to be the artist, and so I just cut them all. And then they're like, yeah, we're gonna do this band thing, Florida Georgia Line. And I'm like, all right, cool, go do your thing. And they kind of had a totally different sound than I did. And so, so they went out and did their thing, and then they showed me Cruise. They were like, hey man, we just wrote this song, it's freaking awesome. And I was like, dang.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it was, and then for them, it just took off so fast. And
was that crazy to be in the middle of all that?
Yeah, it was crazy to see them just blow up. I was like, these are my boys, and now they were on tour with Jake Owen at the time, which, yeah, and it's just hearing them on the radio, and it was just so I felt like the proud little brother, And so, because they were a couple years ahead of me at Belmont and all that stuff, and so just to see them take off in that way was so amazing.
It's so crazy, and I feel like Nashville is really amazing at having such a strong community of people, because people really do link up, and they grow off of each other, they get inspiration off each other, and then all of a sudden you see this whole group of friends all making it. I feel like it happens like that a lot, like happened with the Music Mafia. People just stick together, and then one by one they start getting their own success. I feel like Nashville's so supportive. Yeah,
it really is, because I know Jake brought FGL out on tour, Luke brought FGL out on tour, and I mean, you have to have the music as well, but it's still that. And Thomas brought me out on tour, and I know Aldine brought him out on tour, and it's just it is this community of hey, I dig what you're doing, come out, let me introduce you to my fans, and it catches on. And with the TR tour, that was the biggest exposure to that size crowd every night.
How did you feel playing those shows?
Amazing. It was cool because I had opened up for people before, but this one was just a different level, and they were all the fans were into it. Whatever Thomas Rhett brings to his show, we're there.
We like it.
Yeah, we like it because it's Thomas.
Thomas Rhett approved.
Yeah, and so it was just it was the incredible tour.
So you've kind of done something with yours that I think is awesome. It's sort of a wedding song, and you have crashed some people's weddings playing this song. How did you get that idea, and what was that feeling like Because one of them, I think you were playing the guitar when the bride walks down and she had no idea you were going to be there. How'd you decide to surprise people like that? What a sweet gift.
Yeah, well, at first, writing yours, it was like, we weren't like, what would a bride want to hear, like walking down the aisle? It wasn't that mindset at all. It was just like us being real and honest and just writing the best song we could. And then we released it, we released the video, and then slowly but surely it was like a tweet here, a tweet there, like, hey, we just used this in our wedding song. Here's our video of us in our first dance. And I'm just like, holy cow, like this is starting to catch on. And so this was before the EP was released, and I was like, I think we should do like an acoustic wedding, like more chill version instead of like guitar solos and all that stuff, like a cello and some piano and stuff. So we went back and recorded the whole thing. And yeah, it was just it just like snowballed, and it's still going, even getting crazier of like people reaching out and asking me to come play their wedding. And if you're listening and you asked and we didn't respond, I'm sorry, I love you. But like, yeah, it's just people want to like have this song a part of their special day.
It's the perfect message.
Yeah.
It's the message that you want.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like a lot of guys can relate to this song. Like, and as I look out and see people at my shows, it's like a lot of like even
Guys to girls?
Yeah, I mean, not totally, but I mean, there's a lot of dudes, and I feel like it really connects because like it was just me being honest and like, hey, I wasn't
Honesty
the best
always
at
wins.
relationships. Yeah, I wasn't really the best at relationships, but then I met the love of my life, and I feel like these guys are like, yeah, like I feel you, and like this girl changed my life, and so they'll come to the shows together. Anyways, what were we talking about?
How you're just surprising people's weddings
Yeah,
and making dreams come true.
Yeah, and so they'll reach out and be like, hey, can we like buy you a plane ticket out here and like surprise our wedding? And like I try to do as many as I can, but it's you know, it's getting harder and harder to do that. But it's so fun to like a song that I wrote in this crappy apartment in Nashville, and then we recorded it, and like people are hearing it and they're like, oh my gosh, like people would be like, hey, we had a first dance song, our wedding is next week, and we just heard yours and we're changing it to yours.
How
Yeah,
incredible
like,
is that? Your art and your words and your message
yeah,
are
and I'm like, that's like the biggest day, one of the biggest days of your life, and you just changed it a week before your wedding because you heard it, and it's like, I don't know, it's just cool.
power of a song.
Yeah.
And the power of the truth too.
Yeah.
So right before you got your break and you signed and yours came out, when you're in the wilderness place, those 2 years when
I
you're
love
first
that.
married.
It's so true. It's a great word, wilderness.
Did you ever have a moment where you're like, I just gotta throw in the towel? Like, did you ever have a moment where you're like, I can't do this?
Not really.
You never did. You
No.
knew that this was
Yeah.
for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was never like a plan B in my head. But there was
Do you
like,
think that's important to not have a plan B?
yes. Because like, I think it takes away from your endurance towards your plan A.
Totally.
Like,
Totally.
Yeah, and so turn up.
And drop the mic.
Super ADD.
Hey, that's okay.
Distracted
So
by
don't have a
flashy
plan
things.
B.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's like I never. Yeah, I was just like, I went to Belmont. I studied, you know, singing. I'm like, that's what I want to do.
That's it.
And yeah, I think if you have a plan B, you'll fall back on that sooner than you would have without having it.
I love that. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of rapid fire.
Okay.
And these are kind of deep words, but you're a deep person, and I know like you
Okay.
like to talk about the soul. So, what is faith to you?
Faith is what has kept me going this whole time. Trusting that what I couldn't see yet was still ahead.
And how did you know that it would be there? How did you know that your faith was legit, you know? Because it's so easy to have faith, but then to actually believe it and live it is another thing. So that's awesome.
It's really just kind of I mean, the faith is that trust that what I'm hoping for, that what I'm chasing, that what I'm desiring is going to come to me.
Do you think what you desire in your heart is your calling?
Yeah.
And do you think we all have different desires because we all have different callings? Is that how we find our calling, or how do you identify your calling?
Yeah, I think it's the desire of your heart. You know, I feel like, me personally, I feel like God gives me that desire. There's a verse that talks about that, and it gets confused a lot because like it's like whatever I want, God's gonna give it to me, and it's actually like I feel like it's the reverse of that. It's like God gives you the desire for what you want.
Okay.
You know, like He gave me that desire to be on a platform and a stage and to pursue this relentlessly, because me personally, like didn't have. I mean, I did, like, at sometimes I was like, should I just, like, should I get a job? You know, I got to support my wife, but it was never, like, giving up on this dream. But yeah, I feel like that desire has just been in my heart, and there was no other really way to go about it. Just stick it out and continue to have faith.
Do you think some people, okay, answer this question. Some people do not pursue their calling because?
Fear of failure.
I feel like everyone has that desire on their heart, but so many people, A, can't quite identify what it is, and they're not willing to search for it.
Mm-hmm.
But B, I wonder why everyone doesn't listen to those desires. I think about it, everyone I interview in this chair is people who are following their desires, but it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And like,
it's not easy. Everyone thinks, oh, your life must be easy. Look at you. You got a great wife. You got a hit song on the radio.
Yeah.
You're friends with all these fabulous people touring. But it's really hard to follow your calling.
yeah, and it is because like, even like I saw my buddies blow up, and I was like, is that gonna happen to me? Like, is that ever gonna happen for me? But yeah, it's just staying strong and continuing just to follow that desire every single day that has brought me to
And not
where I am
comparing
now.
too. I
Yeah.
feel like that's
that was a big thing for me, is like, it's not gonna happen the same way.
exactly.
For anybody. It's all, every single way is different. And as much as you try to figure out this formula to get a hit song on the radio, it's all different. And so that was kind of the point where I was like, all right, well, like, me and Kaylee, my wife, we're going to shoot a music video, and we're going to put it on YouTube, and that's how we're going to start doing this thing. And then there was just one thing after another. It kept growing and growing.
What would you recommend for someone who doesn't know how to follow their calling, or doesn't know what to do? Maybe they have an idea of what it is. How would you suggest that next step? How do you know the next step?
I don't think you do ever really know what the perfect next step is, but just start firing. Just start doing something.
I totally agree.
Do something. That's my answer. Do something. Because like, we didn't know what the answer was.
But you did action.
Yeah, we did something. We shot a video, and
that opened the
yeah,
next doors.
Yeah, that we shot a video, and if that wouldn't have worked, we would have
Come up with something
come
else.
up with something else. Yeah, like, I didn't have a record deal at the time, so my plan was shoot a video for yours, shoot a video for another song we had called Blue Tacoma, shoot another video for, just do this like video series, and like, I don't know, that was my plan. And then we got together with my manager and we're like, all right, we're gonna record an EP. And then that EP led to getting a record deal and led to a song on the radio. And now,
All because you took action.
yeah, just do something that
And it's scary.
that you think might work, and
But it's kind of scary to put yourself out there,
Yeah,
too. Because you're like,
totally.
what if people judge me and think I suck, or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
or it doesn't work?
Yeah,
You just can't worry about that, right?
exactly. That's what'll lead you back into the cycle of why don't you think people follow their dreams?
Look at you.
Fear of
full
failure.
circle.
Yeah.
Okay. What is being brave to you?
Being brave, I think it is not caring what people think about insert whatever there. Like not caring about what people think is one of the hardest things for me. Is like, what if they think I'm, trying to like just hang around them to be cool and be whatever, but like, or I mean anything. Anything to do with like fear of man is so frustrating, and I feel like everyone struggled with that.
Well, have you realized I've sort of realized this over time, whatever I think people are thinking, they're actually never thinking. Because no one's really ever even thinking about anyone but themselves most of the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you think
totally.
that?
And I feel like what that fear is how I would view someone else in a similar situation. Like, oh, if I keep coughing, like everyone around me is going to be like, oh, what an idiot. I don't know. It's stupid stuff. I don't know.
Totally.
But you know what I mean? It's just like, and you put that on yourself. But yeah, I think the fear of man and especially in this approval industry, like you want as many people to approve of you, listen to your song, buy your record as humanly possible. And so you want to please everyone. But
you have to balance that wanting to please everyone and wanting to stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
Is there a fine line, do you think?
Yeah, and I think the more you lean on the true to yourself line, the more successful you'll be.
I agree. Totally.
Yeah.
What do you think the point of life is? That's a big one. But I feel like you're going to have a great answer.
The point of life. I think it's honestly really based around like showing love in the greatest way possible. To like with my wife, I think that the best version of our marriage is just being sacrificial and just like laying down my life for her life for mine, this equal partnership. And like for someone who is a single mom or insert any situation there, is just using what you have to help and to change their life just because of love, because of compassion that you have, in your being, not just for anyone else to see it, but just because that's in your heart and that's what you want.
I love that. Okay, so we're going to wrap up. You're so wise. You're so young. So much wisdom radiating out of you.
Oh, gosh.
Well, what is happiness? Actually, before we get to our last question, what is happiness to you?
I think happiness is a choice.
I totally agree with that.
Right?
Heck yeah.
It is. Like
Happiness
we were just talking
is
about
totally
it.
a choice.
Yeah.
You can find happiness in any situation. Do you
Yeah,
think?
totally.
Even the bad ones?
Yeah. And it's usually like me having to like get over my pride. Like we were talking about like a 4 a.m., 5 a.m. flight. And it's like, I don't deserve to be up this early. And like, I'm flying somewhere to play a show because this station is playing my song on the radio, and I have a top 30 single right now.
Heck
and like,
yes.
Well.
No, but that's awesome.
Yeah. And so it's just like, you just got to look at that stuff every single time and just know that, you can find happiness in every situation.
I totally agree. Okay, so I like to wrap up with leave your light. Leave some inspiration of how you have been inspired and how you would like to inspire the world with your life and whatever you're putting out there.
Totally. That's kind of it, like finding love and happiness in every situation. And like with my wife and I, we want to show the world what a great marriage looks like. And so it's not a lot of pressure, but it's like, I want to be the best husband I can every single day. And so, and the more we show the world pieces of our marriage, it's like, all right, like I can't I can't suck at being a husband, you know. I got people to like
Hold you accountable.
to hold me accountable and to like inspire and just to show the world God's love and through our marriage.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna hear yours.
Let's do it.
Let's hear it.
All right.
Russell Dickerson,
Hey.
thank you.
I was a boat stuck in a bottle that never got the chance to touch the sea. Just forgot on the shelf, no wind in the sails, going nowhere with no one but me. I was 1 in 100 billion, a burnout star in a galaxy. Just lost in the sky, wondering why everyone else shines out with me. But I came to life when I first kissed you. The best me has his arms around you. You make me better than I was before. Thank God I'm yours. I was a worn out set of shoes, just wandering the city street. Another face in the crowd, head looking down, lost in the sound of a lonely melody. Empty pockets at a roulette, always landing on a lost bet. And just live for the spin, hope for the win, go all in just to lose again. But I came to life when I first kissed you. The best me had his arms around. The worst me is just a long gone memory. You put a new heartbeat inside of me. You make me better than I was before. Thank God I'm yours. 'Cause I was a boat stuck in a bottle that never got the chance to touch the sea.